How to write an informal letter?
Like any letter, there is a format to write an informal letter in English. Unlike a formal letter, an informal letter does not need to state something specific. It can be written in an easy, conversational style. They are in the nature of a friendly chat, so it can include a variety of topics. It can have all that you want to tell your dear one about. You can use colloquial expressions, unlike formal letters. There are a few easy guidelines that you can follow to be able to write impressive informal letters. Address and date. If you are thinking of how to start writing an informal letter, here is what you should know. To get your informal letter format right, you have to begin it with the sender's address. The address is written on the left-hand side of the paper. It is necessary that you write the complete address so that the receiver can write back to you. So, see to that you give the correct address along with the PIN code. In case you are writing to someone in a different country, make sure you include your country in the address. For example, 29, NBC Garden Coimbatore, India -641,053. This is followed by the date. Writing the date is important as it would help the receiver know when exactly you had written the letter. You can write the date in either of the following formats, for example, 15/11/2021 or the 15th of November, 2021 or November 15th, 2021 forms of greeting/salutation. In informal letters to friends and family, you can address them by their names prefixed by qualifying terms such as dear, my dear, dearest, etc. You can also address them by their pet names, for example, dearest Rosie, dear Andy, my dear sweetie, or by their relationship with you, dear uncle, dearest grandma, my dear cousin. If you are writing to an ordinary friend who is older than you are, or of superior rank, it is respectful to use prefixes such as Mr., Mrs., Miss, etc. For example, dear Mr. Reddy. Introduction and body of the letter. The words you use determine the nature of your letter. You can start your informal letter with an introduction to set the tone of the matter that is going to be discussed. You can begin by inquiring about the health and well-being of the recipient. For instance, I hope this letter of mine finds you in the pink of health. You can then explain the reason behind the letter and provide the details as elaborate as you wish to, unlike formal letters. The letter can be more like a friendly chat than an essay. You can write in a very casual and personal tone. If you are writing to an older person, do not use disrespectful terms or sentences. Conclusion. End the informal letter on a friendly note. Use words in such a way that the recipient feels like they have had a wonderful time chatting with you. See to that you make sure you let them know that you would be awaiting their response to your letter. Forms of subscription/signature. You can use the following in informal letters to relatives and near friends. Yours affectionately, yours lovingly, your loving friend, with love, etc., followed by your name, mostly your first name. If you are writing to a close acquaintance whom you have addressed as dear Mr., Mrs., etc., you can use your sincerely, kind regards, etc.
Informal letter format samples. Let us now look at some examples of informal letter formats to help you understand better.
34. Park Avenue, Mumbai -40,002,324 September, 2021. Dearest Maria, I was so glad to hear from my mother that you are back home after the trip. Hope you had a safe and enjoyable trip. I have been waiting to hear all about the trip from you. Since this was the first time you have been to a foreign land, I guess every little bit of the trip was as exciting as you expected it to be. I have heard from my friends residing there that the place is extremely beautiful and that the people there are very endearing. However, I was worried when I knew that there were a few bomb blasts during your stay there. Hope all of you there were safe. I hope everything else was fine except for this. I had spoken to your mother earlier, and she told me that you would be coming home after 2 weeks. I saw your pictures on Instagram as well. I can't wait to meet you and hear all your stories. Waiting eagerly for your reply. Your loving cousin, Sarah. Informal letter format 2-letter to a friend about arranging a get-together. Street, Allahabad -21,100,512/02/2020.